Most language learners waste years trying to learn the language, going to classes or hiring tutors, playing with apps like Duolingo, watching endless YouTube videos about the language. And after several years of trying to learn, they still aren't able to have a basic conversation. This happens to most people. And the solution is very simple. The problem is that people try to learn without doing what they actually want to be able to do, right? The best way to get good at something is doing that thing a lot. And if your goal is to speak Spanish, then you should be doing a lot of speaking in Spanish. You should be listening as well, and you should be learning vocabulary and doing other things. But the main thing you should be doing is speaking. Now, the thing that most people will try then, after hearing this, is talking to native speakers all day, every day. And that is a great idea. If you can, definitely do it. But there's a big problem with that. When you're starting from scratch, you don't really know what to say. You don't have that many words or sentences that you know that you can use in real conversations. So you end up not really being able to say much. So when you are face to face with native speakers, and a lot of people don't have the chance to speak to native speakers, but even if you do have the chance to speak to native speakers, if you don't have much to say, then you can't really have much of a conversation, so you don't practice, so you don't improve, right? So if you can talk to native speakers, do it as much as possible. That's great. But you'll be much better at it much sooner if you do this, what I'm about to show you. You need to use language islands. This is the cheat code. This is the best way, the fastest way to learn to speak a language, any language, right? So even if you have access to native speakers and you are not scared to death of looking stupid when you try to speak to them, you should do this because you'll do way better in conversation early on. So that means you'll get to practice a lot more because conversations will go longer. You'll be able to say more. They'll answer and you'll actually have a back and forth conversation going. So you'll practice more and you'll improve way faster. Plus, you'll enjoy it more, right? So basically, what you need to do is to prepare a list of everything you need to say. Something like this here. The list of questions and answers, like this one. You could use this specific one and learn the generic answers here, even if you're not 30 or you don't live in Toronto or you don't, I don't know, maybe you are married or you could just edit it with your own information, right? But the basic thing is you take a list of questions, this one, or you create your own if you want with AI. You take a list of questions that covers basically all the usual scenarios and conversations that people normally have. And you blend those questions and the answers, either generic answers or way better, your own answers. And this should be several hundred sentences, right? I think here I've got 300 questions and sentences, generic 300 answers, so 600 sentences. Yep. You could give longer answers so that you got 300 questions and several hundred sentences of answers. The main thing is you learn these sentences, questions and answers, or a similar list like this, ideally with your own information. And you'll be able to speak quite a lot in a matter of days if you learn this well, right? And like I said earlier, when it comes to developing a skill, you need to practice that skill. There are other things you need to do as well, right? But if you want to get good at a specific thing, you need to practice that specific thing as much as possible. So when it comes to understanding the language, you need to listen to the language a lot, of course. But when it comes to speaking, you need to speak the language a lot. And the best thing you can do is take your own sentences and repeat them aloud a lot. You can create audio files and you listen to them, and you first listen to them so you learn the pronunciation, and then you just start repeating them aloud. So you are listening to the audio files and then you repeat it alongside it. You shadow it, or you can read it on your own as well, trying to sound natural while you do it, like as if you were in a conversation instead of ¿qué tipo de música escuchas? No, you're like ¿qué tipo de música escuchas? You say it in one go. And I know this is difficult when you try it for the first time, but if you try to say the same sentence 5 or 10 or 20 times, eventually you'll get it right, especially if you've been listening to it a lot, right? But this is basically what you need to do. You need to take your own sentences, or other sentences, but some kind of practical, useful, realistic sentences for conversation, and you need to say them aloud a lot, right? Basically, for every minute you spend talking to people, you should have 10 minutes repeating sentences aloud on your own. At first, of course, not when you are an intermediate or advanced learner, but in the beginning, to go from zero to conversational, this is the best thing you can do. This is the best use of your time. Just take practical, useful sentences, ideally your own sentences, your own language islands, and repeat them aloud a lot. Sometimes listening and repeating, so you learn the pronunciation and the right tone and all of that as the best possible. Although if you make mistakes with pronunciation and it's not perfect, you're still able to have conversations, so that's much better than what 90% of people will ever get, right? So listen and repeat and read aloud a lot. And just with that, you'll get very far, much farther than 90% of people who are learning a language.